And then in 2009, my mother comes down with pancreatic cancer. They send her or give her some information on pancreatic cancer at the hospital, which says these are the causes. Sodium nitrite. And I said to my mom, do you know what sodium nitrite is? And she says, no. I mean, she read the paper, but it didn't relate to her because, well, she didn't know anything about those things. I said, sodium nitrite, that is what is in all those lunch meats that you eat all the time. My mother ate lunch meats every day. And as a result, we had the first case of cancer ever in our family. Pancreatic cancer. So just for you to know and understand, if they kill pigs with it, maybe not such a good idea to eat it. What do you think? I really think people need to take a look at what they're eating and quit saying, oh, it's okay. Oh, just once in a while. Once in a while builds up. Trust me. Once in a while builds up. And all the other things that one does that builds up also. I mean, oh, it's just one soda a day. Oh, it's just one cookie a day. Oh, it's just. All right, we'll be back, and we're going to talk about the listener comments about Dr. Namey. That was an amazing program, listeners. I'll share with you his comments after this 1 minute, 10-second break. Stay tuned to the Power Hour. This is Joyce Riley.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay.
Every Thursday night at 7 on Kcaa, NBC News Radio, AM 1050.
Kcaa England Transportation, one of the largest trucking firms in the country, is hiring diesel and trailer mechanics with a $2,000 sign-on bonus, top pay, and benefits for qualified mechanics. To apply, visit www.crengland.com/careers. That's www.crengland.com/careers.
This is 1050 AM KCAA Loma Linda and 106.5 FM Yucaipa.
Wednesday, as investors bought drug makers and other healthcare companies. But this morning on Wall Street, the stock futures are lower. Stocks have wavered as investors await quarterly earnings, and many are bracing for another shaky quarter. Earnings this morning, CarMax, ConAgra, Costco, Rite Aid, and Victoria's Secret are all reporting positive results. But the struggling surfwear chain, Pacific Sunwear, is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy after years of losses and intense competition in the teen apparel industry. A report on the number of people who applied for first-time unemployment benefits last week is expected to be relatively unchanged from the previous week. And it's expected that a report on consumer borrowing in February will show a solid increase as Americans spent more money at stores and restaurants and also for new cars and college loans. Again, stock futures are lower this morning. John Lesher, CNBC Radio.
O'Reilly.
Restore your vehicle's lost power by cleaning your entire fuel system with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Right now, buy one bottle, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Keep your engine clean and improve performance with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You can learn to DIY just about anything.
Today I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself in a court of law. It's important to wear a fancy suit. That way, if they ask for evidence, you can point to it and say, Exhibit A.
After all, some things are better left to the pros, like buying a home, because without an expert to guide you, you could be headed for trouble.
If you're backed into a corner, throw out a few objections. Works every time.
So DIY yourself a favor and get Realtor. Head to Realtor.com/GetRealtor today. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
From the Kcaa Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, a high near 71. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, cloudy, a low near 52. Friday, showers likely, mostly cloudy skies, a high near 67. Friday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low near 51. Saturday, showers likely, thunderstorm possible, mostly cloudy and a high near 66. Saturday night, showers likely, thunderstorm possible, mostly cloudy, a low near 49. Sunday, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, high near 66. Sunday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, a low near 51. Monday, chance of showers, partly sunny, high near 69. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In Ontario, we have stop-and-go traffic on the 60 westbound between Haven Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow from Haven to the 57. The 210 west is busy between Mountain Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. In Corona, stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between McKinley Street and Green River Road. The 71 south is busy between Euclid Avenue and the 91. In Corona, there's an accident. The shoulder is blocked on the 71 southbound, approaching the 91. In Moreno Valley, there's an accident. The shoulder is blocked on the 215 northbound before Cactus Avenue. And again in Moreno Valley, there's slow traffic on the 215 northbound between Alessandro Boulevard and University Avenue. The 60 west is busy between Day Street and the 215. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
Here's the latest. I'm Mark Woolsey. Donald Trump looks ahead to the New York primary April 19th and predicts he'll do quite well. At a Long Island rally, Trump praised the courage of 911 responders and slammed rival Ted Cruz.
The bravery that was shown was incredible. We all lived through it. We all know people that died. And I've got this guy standing over there looking at me, talking about New York values with scorn in his face.
He also repeated his vow to build a wall along the Mexican border. President Obama says such Donald Trump foreign policy ideas are already doing damage to U.S. relations abroad.
The notion that we're going to track every Western Union bit of money that's being sent to Mexico, good luck with that.
The president spoke Wednesday from the White House. Bernie Sanders was on the stump in Baltimore, charging that Hillary Clinton should not be president because she voted for the Iraq War. Clinton campaigned in Pittsburgh, vowing to stand up to powerful special interest groups if elected. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk.
Good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5.
Where's Todd?
Where's Todd this morning? I know he did his show prep. I don't know where he is this morning.
Yeah.
Maybe he overslept.
Maybe.
He'll sound all groggy on the radio. So it is
we'll tease him.
And we'll tease him mercilessly, especially you because you're his brother. You're allowed to do
right.
that. So got a great show planned today. Lots of stuff in the news. Lots of stories in the news.
Can we talk about the weather?
Sure.
Rain's coming,
Woo!
and not just for one day, not just for 2, but possibly 3 or 4 days of rain, Aaron, according to my weather app on my phone, which I trust implicitly with my life.
You have a lot more faith in your weather app than I do.
Yeah, it's supposed to start a little bit later this afternoon with the chance of rain kind of going up, and it kind of lingers for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, well, apparently the chance of rain today is 50%.
Yeah.
Which is, it's pretty high.
I'm excited. Hey, let the little drops of water fall from the sky. Our lawn was starting to turn a little brown. I've been very, very timid in terms of watering it, right, because of the drought. So, I kind of let it get almost onto the edge of dying, and then I give it a little bit of water. And I was really hoping that rain would come along to sort of green it up again. So, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So, Cal State San Bernardino, we've been talking about this strike that was, oh my gosh, can I collect my thoughts? That's a strike, the faculty strike. They've been
Yes. Solidarity. Don't cross that picket line.
No, but they've been upset because they haven't had a raise
Yes.
in like 5 or 6 years, which is, I understand that. And everybody, when the recession hit, everybody in a lot of different environments were all hands on deck. Fine, you can cut my pay. Let's do our best not to have anybody get laid off, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And they're coming back and saying, okay, the recession's over. Y'all, can we get some more money? A historic strike by Cal State University faculty may be averted in the next couple of days. Member of the union representing professors announced Wednesday. There is a hope that talks between the California Faculty Association and the California State University may avert a 5-day system-wide strike on all 23 campuses to begin April 13th. According to CFA, which represents 26,000 tenured and tenure-track instructional faculty, lecturers, librarians, counselors, and coaches, the union and management are working on a solution to their fight over pay, with faculty having called for a 5% raise and the Long Beach-based chancellor's office offering a 2% increase. Both sides have agreed to honor a 48-hour blackout period on communicating with the media. Neither party will respond to media inquiries nor conduct media interviews regarding the status of negotiations or strike preparations during the blackout period. An independent fact finder in March determined that the 23 campus system should give professors the raise they've been demanding for nearly a year. Bonnie Prouty Castry, chairwoman of a 3-person panel that included representatives from CSU and the faculty union, said in her report that the Great Recession severely impacted the faculty at CSU. While some progress has been made through targeted pay increases to restore the loss of competitive salaries, faculty suffer from structural salary issues as well as a lack of substantial general salary increases.
Yeah, I'm excited for them if they're able to work this out. These things always seem to come down to the wire, though, right? No one really takes it serious until...
It's a game of chicken.
It is, right? It is. They're not going to go on strike. Yes, they are going to go on strike.
But you've been on the other side of this, haven't you?
I have.
With teachers, when you were in Colton.
Yeah.
You've been on the school board side.
Yes.
And you've been on the teacher side of tough negotiations too.
Yes, but I've never been in a situation where there was a strike, threatened or imminent. We've never gotten there. There were several points where they went to the first step of declaring impasse, right, which is the part of the process in California for public employees before they can go on strike. And then you go through fact finding where you bring in that outside evaluator who talks to both sides and see if they can come up with some resolution and develops a report to sort of suggest what the solution should be. But we never got to the point where we actually were really considering a strike, at least not when I was there. And so this is good news. I know, like, for instance, our daughter is a Cal State student, and a lot of her and her friends, I've seen their posts online, were really upset about what's going to happen.
Because they have 10-week quarters.
Yeah.
10 weeks goes by so quickly. So you miss 1 week. One week of classes, and that's what they're talking about, a week-long strike. You have lost 10% of your academic quarter, which is a significant number.
It is. And, and kids were wondering, would they still go to campus? Would there be a substitute teacher, that's there? Or would the classes just be completely canceled and everything shut down? This was uncharted territory for some of these kids, and so their anxiety level is going high. Plus, they're paying for it. They're paying thousands of dollars for this education and being told, no, not this week.
Right.
And so the kids were getting nervous. Some want to prefer.
It's like, can I get a refund for that 1/10?
Yeah, some of them want to support their professors. Some of them are, like, hey, my grades. What's this going to do to my educational future? Will I be able to graduate on time? All kinds of questions are being raised, and so the fact that this is going to be resolved is a win-win-win for everybody.
Well, it looks like it will be resolved.
Yes.
Hopefully, it will be. I think it's best for everyone involved.
You think they still have time to screw it up?
Oh, yeah, indeed. They definitely still have time to screw it up. So there's a story in Upland that hit kind of close to home. Upland police officers are now searching for a hit-and-run driver who killed a former homecoming queen. So 1984-85 school year, the homecoming queen was a punk rocker named Kristen Pretzer. And I remember when she was crowned homecoming queen. I am an alum of Upland High School. And it was such a big deal because you had your typical homecoming queens that were nominated, your typical princesses, who you would expect. And then you had this rebel, Kristen Pretzer, who became the queen, and everybody felt really cool because we had a punk rocker for our homecoming queen, and she was beloved, lots and lots of friends. Well, fast forward to, 20, how many years has it been? 30 years. Oh my gosh, 31 years since that school year, and she has been living as a homeless person, and I didn't know this because I didn't actually know her. I was a sophomore; she was a senior, and so she didn't know me. I didn't know her, but
you had friends in common.
But we had some friends in common, and obviously knew who she was. Yeah, and so apparently she's been living as a homeless person in the city of Upland with her beloved dog, and she was struck and hit. She was hit by a drunk driver the other night, and the person took off.
Yeah,
hit and run, and she was killed. And I think that, we tend to forget about homeless people. They're kind of, we see them, but they don't have names. We don't know anybody who knows them. We don't, it's not something that we're connected to. And in the city of Upland, they really have not. They really wanted those homeless people to go down to Ontario. Leave us alone. Go to Ontario. And so this is forcing the city to pay some attention, and I think that's a good thing. Now, it's horrible that it took this to make it happen. Horrible that it took this to make it happen. I'm glad that Upland now is paying some attention. Just to be clear.
Now, does the article say, do they have any leads? Are they looking for people to come forward? I mean, what are they trying to do here?
Okay, so authorities determined that. So let me back up. Upland detectives are searching for the driver who struck and killed a former Upland High School homecoming queen last week and fled the scene. Kristen Diane Pretzer was found March 30th on the sidewalk on the 200 block of South Mountain Avenue just after 2 a.m. Her dog, Honeydew, was found with her, officials said. Pretzer, who had been homeless, was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities determined Pretzer had been the victim of a hit-and-run driver. We need people to come forward for my sister, said Pretzer's older brother, Johnny Young. This driver hit Kristen and left her on the side of the road to die. Investigators believe the vehicle that most likely struck and killed Pretzer was a 2012 to 2015 Honda Accord. Following the crash, it should have front end and right front damage to the headlight and grille, according to the police department. My sister was a mother with 4 children who will never get to see her again. Kristen deserved better. Indeed, she did. Young said, please help us find the driver and get justice for Kristen and her children. If you saw anything that night, or if you've seen this car with recent front-end damage, please contact the Upland Police Department. Honeydew is being held at a local animal shelter.
Wow. I'm glad that they were able to identify what they think is the make and model of the car, though. I think that really helps people. If you hear a story about that, and someone who's driving around with that type of car, and you said it's a Honda what?
Honda Accord, 2012 to 2015, so a late model Honda Accord. And they say anyone with information on this incident is asked to call the Upland Police Department traffic investigators. At 909-946 7624, 909-946-7624, extension 3342.
Yeah.
And and I don't mean to say that this jarred a lot of people, and there's been discussions. I posted this article on the Know You're From Upland If Facebook page, and this hit home because people knew who she was. They might not have known her, but they knew who she was, or they've seen her around. And she, a gentle soul. I mean, she didn't cause any trouble. She just happened to be homeless.
Yeah.
And so I hope somebody adopts her dog.
Yeah, me too.
So it is 6:15. It's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
Hi, this is Steve Alador from Rancho Financial with the Mortgage Minute. With property values increasing, this might be the perfect time to do a loan checkup to see if it makes sense to refinance. Do you have an equity line? If your equity line is getting close to 10 years old, your payment is about to fully amortize. Coupled with the certainty that the feds will soon increase Short-term rates, there might be a substantial jump in payment on your line of credit. If we combine your current loan, equity line, and possibly even some of your credit debt, there could be a substantial reduction in what you have to pay each month. Do you have VA eligibility? VA will allow 100% cash-out financing. This may be a perfect time to use your eligibility. We can go 85% cash out with FHA or 80% with a standard conventional loan. There are many possible options that could make a huge difference in your monthly payments. That's why you need a loan financial planner to provide you with all of your possible options. Give me a call, Steve Alladort, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070, or go to loanfinancialplanner.com.
Wow, what a sweet ride. And that bumping sound?
Thanks to Al & Ed's Auto Sound and their expert installations with custom sound systems.
That's right. I heard Al & Ed has a wide variety of mobile electronics and accessories from car stereos to vehicle security,
including complete interior and exterior upgrades, as well as a full line of auto restyling options for your car, truck, boat, or off-road vehicle.
Al & Ed's Auto Sound, serving the Inland Empire, San Diego, and Los Angeles County.
You can also catch Al & Ed's Auto Sound at the upcoming Extreme Auto Fest, Hot Import Nights, the LA Auto Show, and the Lowrider Super Show.
And stop by Al & Ed's event booth and say hello to our friend Alden Allen, event coordinator. Tell him you heard it on the KCAA radio with the commish and receive your free gift.
Check out Al & Ed's website at www.al-ed.com for a store near you, or call 888-900-8800.
That website again, www.al-eds.com.
Al & Ed's Auto Sound, they bump.
Kcaa England Transportation, one of the largest trucking firms in the country, is hiring diesel and trailer mechanics with a $2,000 sign-on bonus, top pay, and benefits for qualified mechanics. To apply, visit www.crengland.com/careers. That's www.crengland.com/careers.
Tired of spending too much money on an ad and then trying to find your ad in the newspaper, buried among hundreds, even thousands of other ads? Isn't it time you got a great deal when you were trying to sell that car, that dining room set, that refrigerator, or offering your handyman services? Now you can in the Nickel Shopper. For as little as $7.50 per week, your ad can be seen by thousands of eyeballs in the high desert, and they're getting the Nickel Shopper for free. Call today to place your ad in the Nickel Shopper, 760-646-3654, or go to thenickelshopper.com for all the details, 760-646-3654. The Nickel Shopper, now in the IE.
Tell weeds where to go with Chateau herbicide from Valent USA Corporation. Growers and PCAs count on Chateau because it's effective on more than 90 of the toughest winter annual broadleaf and grass weeds in crops like almonds, pistachios, walnuts, grapes, and alfalfa. Chateau delivers proven, long-lasting residual control, and Chateau can be used on new plantings and young, non-bearing trees and vines. Even better, Chateau is weather-ready and farm-ready. Chateau stays where you put it and doesn't photodegrade as it waits for moisture activation. Other pre-emergence herbicides can leach, co-distillate, and or photodegrade, reducing performance. And Chateau is activated with only a quarter inch of rainfall or irrigation water. Take control and keep control of weeds with Chateau herbicide. To learn more, talk to your PCA or go to valent.com/Chateau. And while you're there, find out how Asana XL insecticide protects trees from dormant peach twig borer. Always read and follow label instructions.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Do you have unfiled tax returns? The IRS wants to collect from you and will do whatever it takes to make sure they get the money you owe. They'll garnish your wages, levy your bank account, and lien your house. The IRS isn't going away. You can't ignore them. They will get their money. Call the Tax Alliance helpline now at 1-800-577-4621 for free info. The professionals at the Tax Alliance helpline will help you with your tax problems. Garnished wages, bank levies, and property liens can be stopped, but you have to call now. We have former IRS agents on staff who know the ins and outs of the system and how to make them work for you. Don't let back taxes on the IRS or state ruin your life. Call the Tax Alliance helpline now and let the experts fight for you. Get the info you need. Call 1-800-577-4621. That's 1-800-577-4621. 1-800-577-4621.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path that's right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that is a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Welcome back. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050 and FM 106.5. So we talk a lot about what's been going on the Republican side of this primary election season. But now Sanders is making the news. Now, I got to back up because last week, Hillary Clinton put out there that she didn't want to debate Sanders again because he was being too mean to her, which was really funny to me because Sanders is really not a mean guy.
Yeah, he's kept the gloves on. He's never he's not really hitting her that hard. And then the other one too, she said, I think yesterday or the day before, was that she questioned whether or not he was really a Democrat because he had just recently come to the Democratic Party and been a lifelong socialist, and so she's.
But her positions are really no different from his.
I know, that's what's so funny. And when some of the major Democrats have been asked what's the difference between a Democrat and a socialist, they've completely whiffed on the question. So I just
much
think
so that Saturday Night Live lampooned this.
Yes.
With her morphing into him on the campaign trail, and so it's really funny.
Yeah, so it's been kind of interesting back and forth. But this new article, Sanders is actually hitting her fairly hard, and it's an interesting argument that he's making. He's essentially saying that Hillary Clinton is not qualified to be president. Okay. Bernie Sanders said Wednesday that Hillary Clinton's not qualified to be president, a sharp escalation in rhetoric in the Democratic Party. Secretary Clinton appears to be getting a little bit nervous, he told a crowd in Philadelphia, and she has been saying lately that she thinks that I'm not qualified to be president. Well, let me just say in response to Secretary Clinton, I don't believe that she's qualified. If she is, through her super PAC taking tens of millions of dollars in special interest funds, I don't think you're qualified to get $15 million from Wall Street through your super PAC. CNN has reached out to Clinton campaign for comment, and its surrogates responded quickly via Twitter. Hillary Clinton did not say Bernie Sanders was not qualified, but he has now absurdly said it about her. This is a new low. Clinton, and that was according to campaign spokesman Brian Fallon. Clinton was asked Wednesday morning by MSNBC whether she thought Sanders was ready to be president. And she responded, I think he hadn't done his homework and he'd been talking for more than a year about doing things that he obviously hadn't really studied or understood, and that does raise a lot of questions. So, I mean, they're not using the big good words.
They're not saying Lion Ted.
Yeah, they're not using the big good great words of Donald Trump, but she's saying he's a dummy, and he's saying she's
a liar.
And he's saying she's corrupt. She's been bought, but he's not using the best words. But and New York is coming up later this month as a primary, and this is a big one. There's a lot of delegates at stake. He was born there.
And he carries that New York accent with him. You listen to the man, and it's very, very obvious where he's from. And that's her adopted state.
That's her adopted state. She moved there after they left the White House and ran for Senate there because she's very strategic.
Yes,
and she saw an opening there. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. He also Sanders went on to say, I don't think you're qualified if you have voted for the disastrous war in Iraq. I don't think you're qualified if you have supported virtually every disastrous trade agreement, which has cost us millions of decent paying jobs, he said to Applause. I don't think you are qualified if you've supported the Panama Free Trade Agreement, something that I very strongly oppose, and which all of you know has allowed corporations and wealthy all over the world people to avoid paying their taxes to their countries. So, boom, he actually is now going after her because of these Panama Papers, right?
Yes.
Saying she supported the trade agreement that actually allowed for that environment to occur. This is actually him maybe taking the gloves off a little bit, Aaron.
Well, it's getting close. And, he is a lot closer than to getting the Democratic nomination than Debbie Wasserman Schultz would have you believe.
Yes.
If you take away those superdelegates, I actually think he's in the lead, or it's neck and neck.
No, if you take away the superdelegates, he's still about 200 delegates behind.
He is? Okay.
Yeah, he's about 200 behind. But they actually have double the number of delegates they have to get versus the Republicans, right? And the margin between him and Hillary is much closer than the margin between Ted Cruz and Trump. And so,
at one point he was ahead.
Yeah.
That looks like, well, okay, and I believe you when you say that it flips. Because
Yeah.
at one point he had more delegates. If taking away the super delegates, he had more delegates than she did. And in 2008, remember, we've talked about this, Hillary Clinton won Super Tuesday. She swept Super Tuesday, and clearly she wasn't elected president.
The articles I've read about the math on the Democratic side, in order for Bernie Sanders to steal the nomination from Hillary, several things have to happen. One is that basically he has to win by a fairly large margin in all the big states that remain. So New York, California, New Jersey, I forget the other ones, but there's Pennsylvania. He's got to win with over 60% in those states in order to get the raw number of delegates. And then he's got to also hope that he gets some of those superdelegates who then see the momentum shifting and then shift to him as well, which would happen, I think, obviously. If he's winning it throughout the end here and winning those big states, I think they would switch.
What if neither side got to their minimum and both sides end up having contested conventions?
Well, because there's only two candidates on the Democratic side, I don't think that's going to happen, right? Somebody's going to get over 50%, right?
Yeah, but it's different between 50% and is the
line.
That's the line. Okay.
Yeah. So they
I know little about Democrat politics.
One of the
different parties, so I apologize.
One of the Democrats should make the number because you've got two people running, and unless there's an exact tie, which I just don't see happening.
It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. I just don't see that happening. So it's going to be interesting. But I mean, the gloves are coming off. Things are starting to get serious between them, and I think New York is going to be an interesting primary. We got to hold our breath.
Well, on the Republican side, Donald Trump is really counting on New York. That's his home state as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of the kind of bombast that he is well known for plays better in New York than it does in a lot of other states.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I see some of Cruz's supporters here in California suggesting that Kasich needs to get the heck out of the way because he's actually going to make it easier for Trump to win in California because he's taking enough of the vote. Well, the opposite argument could be made in New York. Because
they hate Ted Cruz in New York.
Ted Cruz is a bottom feeder in New York.
Right.
And he's stopping Kasich from getting more votes that would potentially, stop Trump. And so, but you don't hear the Cruz folks making that argument, right? That their guys should get out of the way.
No, they're not going to make that argument. It's not in their best interest to make that argument.
I know. And you know me, I'm a fan of Kasich, and I think that it's important that he stays in, that there are places he plays better. And these guys have got to learn to play well together because at the end of this thing, one of these guys is going to be running be our candidate for president, and he's going to need these other guys on their side.
Yep.
So they've got to start learning how to play nice with each other. Politics is a team sport, guys. Man up.
Yeah, and it's a game of addition. So why don't we go ahead and take another break at 6:29. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We'll be right back.
This is KCAA.
From the Kcaa Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, a high near 71. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, cloudy, a low near 52. Friday, showers likely, mostly cloudy skies, a high near 67. Friday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low near 51. Saturday, showers likely, thunderstorm possible, mostly cloudy and a high near 66. Saturday night, showers likely, thunderstorm possible, mostly cloudy, a low near 49. Sunday, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, high near 66. Sunday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, a low near 51. Monday, chance of showers, partly sunny, high near 69. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In Chino, we have stop-and-go traffic on the 60 westbound between Central Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 west is slow and go from Haven to the 57. The 210 west is busy between Mountain Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. In Corona, stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between McKinley Street and Green River Road. The 71 south is busy between Pine Avenue and the 91. In Corona, an accident has been cleared on the 71 southbound approaching the 91. Please look at Steve. I'm sure they're still slowing in the area. Please watch out for those taillights. In Moreno Valley, slow traffic on the 215 northbound between Alessandro Boulevard and University Avenue. The 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
Here's the latest. I'm Mark Woolsey. Donald Trump looks ahead to the New York primary April 19th and predicts he'll do quite well. At a Long Island rally, Trump praised the courage of 911 responders and slammed rival Ted Cruz.
The bravery that was shown was incredible. We all lived through it. We all know people that died. And I've got this guy standing over there looking at me, talking about New York values with scorn in his face.
He also repeated his vow to build a wall along the Mexican border. President Obama says such Donald Trump foreign policy ideas are already doing damage to U.S. relations abroad.
The notion that we're going to track every Western Union bit of money that's being sent to Mexico, good luck with that.
The president spoke Wednesday from the White House. Bernie Sanders was on the stump in Baltimore, charging that Hillary Clinton should not be president because she voted for the Iraq War. Clinton campaigned in Pittsburgh, vowing to stand up to powerful special interest groups if elected. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. A Syrian family will arrive in Kansas City, Missouri today, becoming the first refugees to be resettled in the U.S. under a so-called surge operation. The group fled Syria's civil war 3 years ago, and they've been living as refugees in Jordan. Minnesota and Connecticut are on a growing list of cities and states banning state-paid travel to Mississippi. That's due to concern over Mississippi's new religious freedom law, which some say is a path to legalize discrimination. WikiLeaks is steamed that it can't dig through the Panama Papers. The whistleblower website is criticizing the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists' decision not to allow open access to the documents, showing a global network of hidden assets and money laundering. Ending a 15-year iconic run tonight. Yes, it's the final curtain for American Idol. The final episode will include a tribute to the last 15 years and a farewell celebration. I'm Mark Woolsey.
E-Digits. Lock 'em in for more information, recreation, and guaranteed fun. KCAA.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm finally Todd Brinker.
Whoa!
Glad to have you with us, Todd.
Glad to be here, guys. Glad to be here. I'm going to talk today about a movie called The Salvation.
The Salvation.
The Salvation, yeah. It's kind of a modern take on a Western. It's set in 1870 after the American Civil War. The Salvation tells the tale of two brothers, John and Peter, immigrants from Denmark, who, after fighting in the Second War of Prussian aggression, immigrate to the United States, and they set up in the American West to start their new life. And after 7 years, John sends for his wife and child to join him after he's established his homestead. The movie opens as the brothers meet the train and greet the family. And from there, the gritty image of the Wild West, where law is only as good as the sheriff's eyesight, and powerful men like De La Rue, played convincingly by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, can create their own rules if they're brutal enough. The story's kind of a caricature of reality, a morality play, and yet is presented in a very believable and realistic terms. The integration of immigrants as the main characters sets this movie apart from many Westerns, and it adds to the realism as they used Dutch actors to play the main characters. The slow build-up as the movie progresses to its climactic confrontation is well-paced and sets the scene for a dramatic, if not wholly original, conclusion. The movie is not filled with dialogue. Understanding the actions can pace a storyline and that facial expressions can make a point. Mads Mikkelsen, in the lead role of John, pushes the action and sets a near-perfect tone as the new American working to create a home for his estranged family. You share his anguish and feel his revenge for the brutality of his loved ones as he's forced to endure agony in a certain situation. Eva Green's role as a mute wife of the man who rapes and murders John's family is filled with subtleties. Her expressions and decision to leave her brother-in-law De La Rue sets her on a parallel path to John. The Salvation's an excellent movie, although very brutal. It's not a children's movie. It's the best in this genre in the last few years, and it serves up some of the best of Westerns and in a very realistic and gritty fashion, telling the tale from the perspective of new immigrants who helped build our West.
So, so the two lead actors are from Denmark, and so they have that They have the.
They have the accent. They actually speak with early in the movie. They speak with subtitles, speaking their native tongue, and so it sets a very realistic picture of what the American West was like. And I thought, given some of our political climate, it's very interesting to see that we're have a movie showing that a large part of the American West was settled not only by people who had lived in or were born in the United States and moved across the West, but lots and lots of people coming from Europe at that point in time to find a better life and help create the American West.
So was this on Netflix? Is that how you? Because I've never heard of this movie.
I actually saw this on iTunes. It's available on iTunes and Amazon. I don't believe it's on Netflix yet, but I'm sure it's not too long for Netflix. It's not a. It was foreign.
It's from Denmark.
It's from Denmark. Was foreign produced, and so it didn't get a lot of marketing with a major American studio behind it. But it's an excellently done movie, and I'm got a soft spot in my heart for some of those old westerns, and every once in a while I'll put on an old Clint Eastwood movie or a John Wayne movie, and it's kind of fun. I like the spaghetti westerns. This is more in the genre of, say, the remake of True Grit. It's much more gritty, a little bit more realistic take, but still it's a fun ride through the Wild West in a sense that you can kind of let your mind go a little bit and put yourself in the situation of living in that era.
So one of my favorite movies is Tombstone, and I've been wanting to watch it. We don't actually own it. I need to buy it. Because I love that kind of storytelling. So I want to check this out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good movie. It's I give it 4 out of 5 stars, 4 out of 5 thumbs up, whatever measure I'm going to give it. 4 out of 5. I thought it was well done. And it's the nice thing about doing a Western is that, it's relatively low tech, doesn't require a lot of special effects, just requires some good costuming, and they do an excellent job here where not everybody has the perfect, wild Western cowboy hat and everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's done in a very realistic sense that people may do with what they had and what they could grow on their own.
So, Todd, when I saw the title of this, The Salvation, I kind of thought maybe it might have sort of a religious theme or whatnot. Does that play into this idea of being saved, or?
You would think maybe that it would, given the title. And I guess the real tie-in is just the salvation ends up being the ability and the grittiness of people who are settling the West to sort of step up and save themselves. Those who were able to make it in the West in that time frame had to be really tough people. They were living in a very difficult time, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, if you're not familiar with the character, has done a lot of things recently, and in fact just recently popped up as a major character in The Walking Dead.
Okay.
He's a pretty well-known character actor and sometime leading man, and he plays the bad guy with a sense of this is my space. I run what happens here, and if you don't listen to me, then I will beat you down. And in a sense, that's a little bit of a caricature. Like I said, it's not. There's not a whole lot of backstory explaining why he necessarily was a bad guy, or how he got to be that way, or why he feels like he should be the one in charge. It's just sort of he's got the most amount of money, and he's got hired help. And so he's kind of the prototypical bad guy in the West, right? The big rancher who's in charge of everything.
There's some good actors in this movie, Todd. I'm looking at the cast of the pictures, and I'm like, I know these people. Eva Green was in the Bond movie. Mads Mikkelsen's been in a ton of stuff. He always plays bad guys too. Or at least
in this case, he gets to play the good guy.
Nice.
So these are a lot of actors that have done a lot of things in Europe, and occasionally have had parts and pieces in American movies and American television, and so they're all very well versed in their craft, and they're all great actors. And so it was quite a surprise to find this and see that there had been literally no American marketing when it hit the theaters, and so it didn't do much there.
So I think it's interesting to see. I want to see it because I'm curious about the Danish point of view, telling the story of this American West mythology. And so I know the American West actually happened, but it's been romanticized in movies for decades. And so how did the Danes feel about what that experience was like for people living in the American West?
Absolutely. I think it's very interesting to see what what is an immigrant's take sort of on it, or what's a modern European's take on what their forefathers, or some of their forefathers who chose to leave, what is it like? How did they tell that story? And you'll see a lot of similarities, but you'll see some differences as well. And there's a certain amount of distaste for people from another place, and yet there's also some bonding of people from different places. There's one scene where they're in a stagecoach being driven, and there's a Hispanic couple that they're talking with, and obviously they're immigrants as well, and they kind of bond just while they're riding together. And it's interesting to see how people from diverse places are played into, and I think it gives you that kind of realistic take on the on history and what people are like.
I am a big fan of Jeffrey Dean Morgan. For those of you who don't know, or maybe they're fans of Grey's Anatomy, he played Denny Duquette on Grey's Anatomy, and so Denny, he was the one that Izzy Stevens went crazy over, and all of that. Anyway,
he just finished a run.
Don't cut the LVAD. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah, he just finished a run on The Good Wife too. The last season of The Good Wife. So he was doing that. Like I said, he's done just opened up as a major character on The Walking Dead, and also did a movie called The Losers, which was a lot of fun. So he's been around for a while, and he's a great actor and does a lot of interesting things, and brings some kind of good old fashioned movie bad guy bravado to the role, and makes it a lot fun in the sense that he plays the bad guy well.
Well, let's go ahead and take a break. Thank you so much for that movie review. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show, and we will be right back.
San Bernardino, Loma Linda, Rialto listens to KCAA Radio.
Right in the middle of Redlands is a special place called the Tennessee Gardens, where great memories and romance abound. Under fragrant magnolia trees, aside seasonal flowers, and next to its whimsical ponds, brides and grooms begin their lives together and events are celebrated. With over 25 years' experience, its award-winning professional staff, led by executive chef Michelle, owner of Michelle's Bakery, create mouth-watering cakes and events. Celebrate your special event with people who care at the spectacular Tennessee Gardens, conveniently located right in the middle of Redlands. Make a no-obligation appointment to find out more about Tennessee Gardens. Call 909-793-5311. That's 909-793-5311. Or visit mybrideandgroom.com. Don't forget to ask about their bridal and events show on Sunday, May 1st at Tennessee Gardens.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, or check out the savings and place your order online. VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company has been serving the greater Inland Empire for over 60 years. For all of your printing needs, from full-color printing to high-speed copying and everything in between, go to Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. Their staff is committed to your total satisfaction. Great service isn't just lip service at Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. It's the way they do business year after year. Having trouble finding drafting supplies? Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company still carries a complete selection. Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company is rated high in customer satisfaction by Value Star, an independent rating company. For all of your personal or business printing, call Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company at 909-792-3478. That's 792-3478, or visit them on New York Street in Redlands off the I-10 and the Crosstown Freeway.
In the mood for some great Chinese food? Well, Mr. Yu's Chinese Food is where you need to be. Mr. Yu's Chinese Food not only has a delicious dinner menu, they also offer delicious lunch specials, including their yummy fried rice and chow mein. But get this, it also includes any 2 items just for $5.85. Or you can get any 1 item for only $4.85. You should also try their Big Bowl special for just $4.10. The service is fast and friendly. Mr. Yu's Chinese Food is located at 256 Carousel Mall in San Bernardino, California. To contact Mr. Yu's Chinese Food, call 909-383-0195. Again, that's 909-383-0195. And yes, the Carousel Mall is still open.
That's right!
Thank you, Inland Empire, for listening to KCAA Radio.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
There he is.
Yeah.
And you
never know.
We are on the Brink, the morning show here on KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. You know, we got into this discussion off the air about, you know, how primaries are handled in the state of California. We went through a change a few years ago in 2011.
Yeah.
They had this Open Primaries Act that was passed, and we have, even among us, we had some confusion about, well, what does that really mean? Does that mean that independents can vote in either primary? And that was what I thought.
Yeah.
And so we decided to look it up on the Secretary of State's website and figure if we're confused, y'all are confused. And
Yeah.
so Tobin, why don't you take it
So
from here?
for most elections in California now, it's a top 2 candidate open primary, which means that everybody runs, Democrat, Republican, whatever party you're from, you run on the same slate, and the top 2 vote getters in the primary go on to the general election. And we've seen this where you've ended up with 2 Republicans at the top or 2 Democrats at the top.
Right, it happened recently in a congressional election.
Yeah.
Or congressional district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so this has been interesting. And the idea behind this top 2 candidate idea was that we would get more moderate people. I'm not sure that that's working out that way, but that's what they sold us, was that we would get more moderate people. But for the presidential primary, it's a little bit different. Qualified political parties in California may hold a presidential primary in one of 2 ways. They can have a closed presidential primary where only voters indicating a preference for a party may vote in that party's presidential nominee. Or they can have a modified closed presidential primary where the party also allows voters who did not state a party preference to vote for that party's presidential nominee. And then they explain some of the rules for when they have to file and all that sort of stuff. And it goes on to say that the Democratic and the American Independent parties notified the Secretary of State that they will allow voters who did not state a political party preference to vote in the presidential ballot of their parties. And this is for that says for 2012.
And this hasn't been updated. We're on the Secretary of State website.
Yeah.
Has not been updated. And so I don't know if that will apply then to 2016.
Yeah, but my understanding from the Republican side is, and from people in Republican circles, that ours is the Republican Party is a closed primary. And that's how it's. I have a website that I use to follow all the primaries, and they have California listed as a closed primary. Mm-hmm. And what that means is if you want to vote in the Republican primary, you have to change your registration to Republican in order to be able to do that. And I've actually been strongly encouraging all of my Democrat friends to switch their registration to Republican so that they can vote for anyone but Trump, right? And wouldn't it be great if Trump got hammered in California by a large crossover group that basically said, hell no, right?
But I don't see any Democrat wanting to vote for Ted Cruz.
Well, I'm not saying
you're a Kasich fan, so you're trying to get more.
Hey.
Yeah, and let's face it. I mean, a lot of Democrats are saying, yeah, let Trump run, let him win, because we'll chop him up when it gets to the general election.
And I get that, but if you really believe this man is a threat to America, help us. And then plus all you do by stopping him from winning California is make sure that it's a contested convention. And make for more quote-unquote chaos on the Republican side, which the Democrats have always wanted to do anyway. They always love causing a little chaos for the other side. But yeah, I do want them to vote in the Republican primary, and I do want them to vote for John Kasich. I think he's the best candidate. And, I believe that by the time we get to the Republican primary in California, by the time we get to the primary in California, that the Democratic side will be pretty much decided. I think we'll know very clearly if Hillary's already gotten there or not.
You don't think that California will be in play at that point? You really don't?
I don't.
So what is interesting is they use the word qualified political party, because it can't be, I'm the Brinker party and, vote for me.
Why not?
So they're qualified.
It's a good party.
I know, it's a good party.
I've never been to a party with Brinkers that wasn't a good party.
Lots of beer and ice cream. So it's a Democrat. So the qualified political parties in the state of California right now are Democrat, Republican, American Independent Party, Americans Elect Party, which I've never heard of, the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, and the Peace and Freedom Party.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Peace and Freedom Party is the one that it believes in transcendental meditation. And I say this in all seriousness.
Yeah.
That's part of the platform. And I think it's that one, but perhaps I'm wrong.
So I'm a registered independent, and so I was wondering, can I vote in both primaries, or do we know?
So that question is answered here on the website. So I'm going to read to you what the Secretary of State says. So can independent or write-in candidates for voter-nominated offices run in the general that's run in the general election? No, and that was not what the question that you asked.
Yeah.
But my understanding is no, you cannot.
Yeah.
So I have to choose one or the other?
You have to choose one or the other.
Got it.
Which one are you going to choose? Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm not sure yet.
Well, and here's
because
the thing.
I know who I want on both sides, but I don't know who I want above,
Yeah. But here's the thing. I believe the way it's set up, because the Republican primary is a closed primary, unless you are a Republican, you can't get the Republican ballot.
Right,
So-
but you can vote in the Democratic one even though you're an independent, because at least as of 2012, the Democrats had a modified closed presidential primary, which is just kind of a weird word.
Yeah.
But because that allows, the party allows voters who did not state a party preference to vote for that party's presidential nominee.
So if a qualified political party chooses to hold a modified closed presidential primary, the party must notify the California Secretary of State no later than the 135th day before Election Day. And so that notice probably, it should have been there already. And they need to update their website.
Yeah.
The Secretary of State.
Yes. And according to this, you're not an independent. You are an NPP or a no party preference voter.
Yes.
Yes.
Because there is the American Independent Party, and unless you specify that specific party, then you're just not affiliated.
And the website that I go to for elections is showing that the Democratic primary is quote unquote semi-closed, which means that that
modified closed presidential. Yeah. I wish they would all use the same terminology so that we could be clear.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I don't understand the difference between a modified closed and an open election. I guess modified closed because some parties are not open, and so it's modified closed. I don't know because
why it's modified closed is because if I'm a Republican, I can't go and vote on the Democratic side. Does it make sense? It's
I see what you're saying.
It's open to people who are not
who have declined to stay.
Voters who did not state a party preference can vote, but if you're affiliated with any party, then you cannot vote for Democrats.
Exactly.
Right. So if you're registered as an American Independent or an Americans Elect Party member, you can't vote in the election or in the Democratic primary. But if you're an independent voter who has never registered with a party, then you can vote in the Democratic primary, but not in the Republican primary.
Now, here's the thing that always I think is amazing, because if you ever have seen the people who work the polls, there are about 50 different iterations of the ballot. And when you walk in, they have to make sure they give you the exact right one based on what you've stated, your preferences, and what all these little rules are. And it's based on where you live, and it's based on your party. And there's so many factors that go into this. And so, it gets real tricky as to which ballot you can get.
Well, and quite frankly, I mean, the way the rules are set up too, it's not like they've blocked laws. In fact, there was just a recent Supreme Court ruling blocking some of the rules about identifying who you are when you go in to get your ballot. Largely, you can go in and say, "This is who I am, and this is how I want to vote," and they're required to give you a ballot and let you vote.
Yeah. Well, the catch-all that they have in California is they give you a and I'm going to blank on the name of the type of ballot, but it's essentially the
provisional.
Provisional. Thank you. They give you a provisional ballot, and you can fill this out essentially for all of the offices, and then they put it aside when they do their counting. That one gets put aside. It's the last set of ones that they count, and before they count it, they have to go through and do a verification process to verify that you are who you said you were, that your signature matches, all the various things that they do to check that.
Yeah, so if you're not on the voter roll, registration rolls, and as a declared person for a specific location, the question I run into is, they don't ask for any ID. So what if I showed up and it shows on their rolls that I've already voted? Then I get a provisional ballot?
Yes.
And they count the ballot that was already put in for me because there's no way to verify that was me or not.
Yes.
So in California, you can walk into any place, if you know a person's name and address, give them that, and vote as that person.
They do actually have a way of checking that. You have to sign, and they do match signatures. So if you walk in and say, "Hey, that's not my signature. Someone's already signed for my ballot."
But you would have to contest it for them to know.
Yeah, and then you know how they pull off the little tab with the number on it, and they give you the other side of it. Because where you sign, that number matches. They're able to.
They can go look at that ballot and say that ballot now needs to be verified as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So there is
and that actually happens.
Well, I don't know. And
in theory.
In theory. And I will tell you that I've seen a lot of screwy stuff happen with the counting of these things. I mean, I've been involved in too many elections and seen too many freaky things go on. I mean, you might remember this. The first election I ran in for the school board, I ended up winning by 11 votes.
I remember.
On the night of the election, they had me up by a couple hundred. And then the next day they announced that one of their tallying machines had been calibrated wrong, and it counted votes for people that weren't the people they voted for. So they had to go back and recalibrate the machine and rerun the votes. And so then a whole bunch of people who thought they won on election night ended up losing, and I still hold on to my win, but instead of it being by a 200 vote margin, it was by 11 votes.
It was 11 votes. It was incredibly narrow.
And I had to wait like a week.
I worked for a lot of years for the newspaper, the Sun newspaper there in San Bernardino, and I remember on election day being down at the secretary of or the election offices working for the paper, and it's kind of mayhem. So it's amazing that those people are able to do their job at all, given the constraints and, like you said, the variety of different ballots that they have to deal with.
Well,
it's largely people watching it would say, "Oh, it's kind of magic."
The second time I ran is when it was after the 2000 election, when they had finally put in all these computerized voting machines.
That they had to pull all back out.
And there was major glitches with those. And so, I watched cycle after cycle, and each time the person who was the quote-unquote registrar of voters that was in charge would get canned afterwards.
Yeah.
So they get booted, and they bring some new guy in and some new system. And so I'm skeptical whenever I see a vote count.
Well, I mean,
we're
everybody
out of
went
time,
to the
guys.
computer
We're out of
ballots
time.
after
It is 6:59. Sorry. We're out of time. Thank you all for joining us today on this Thursday. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm Todd Brinker.
And we are on the Brink the Morning Show. Have a great day, everybody.
You're listening to KCAA, Loma Linda, California. the best station in the nation.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. It looks like we're headed for a lower open on falling oil prices, but some good news about jobs. The Labor Department says first-time jobless claims have fallen 9,000 to 267,000. Applications have been below 300,000 for 57 straight weeks. Dow Jones reporting Valeant Pharmaceuticals has struck a deal with loan holders to amend the terms of its debt. The drug maker's shares are coming off their best two-day percentage gain in 20 years, but they're still down more than 80% over the past 12 months. A new study by creditcards.com shows the majority of American credit card holders have the new EMV chip cards, but less than a quarter of retailers have the new chip card readers. The deadline for retailers to upgrade was October. Any retailer without the new card readers are financially responsible for fraudulent charges on those cards.
O'Reilly. Restore your vehicle's lost power by cleaning your entire fuel system with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Right now, buy one bottle, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Keep your engine clean and improve performance with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You can learn to DIY just about anything.
Today I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself in a court of law. It's important to wear a fancy suit. That way, if they ask for evidence, you can point to it and say, Exhibit A.
After all, some things are better left to the pros, like buying a home, because without an expert to guide you, you could be headed for trouble.
If you're backed into a corner, throw out a few objections. Works every time.
So DIY yourself a favor and get Realtor. Head to Realtor.com/GetRealtor today. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
From the Kcaa Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, a high near 71. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, cloudy, a low near 52. Friday, showers likely, mostly cloudy skies, a high near 67. Friday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low near 51. Saturday, showers likely, thunderstorm possible, mostly cloudy and a high near 66. Saturday night, showers likely, thunderstorm possible, mostly cloudy, a low near 49. Sunday, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, high near 66. Sunday night, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, a low near 51. Monday, chance of showers, partly sunny, high near 69. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In Chino, we have stop-and-go traffic on the 60 westbound between Central Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. The 10 West is slow and go from Haven to the 57. The 210 West is busy between Mountain Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. In Corona, stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between McKinley Street and Green River Road. The 91 East is heavy from Arlington to the 14. 71 South is busy between Pine Avenue and the 91. In Murrieta, stop-and-go traffic on the 15 southbound between the 215 and Rainbow Valley Boulevard. This slowing is due to an earlier crash down near the 15 and Highway 76. In Moreno Valley, stop-and-go traffic on the 215 northbound between Cactus Avenue and University Avenue. The 215 south is slow and go from Lacadena to Columbia. The 60 west is busy between Heacock and the 215. In Lake Elsinore, slow traffic on the 15 northbound between Indian Truck Trail and El Cerrito Road. And in Corona, slow traffic on the 15 northbound between Hidden Valley Parkway and Harupa Street. The 15 south is slow in patches between the 210 and the 60. This has been your KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker.
This report has been brought to you by Lead Safe America. Think lead poisoning is just a problem with the past? Think again. 1 in 4 kids live in a home with potential lead paint hazards. Learn more, be safe. LeadSafeAmerica.org.
Here's the latest. I'm Mark Woolsey. Donald Trump looks ahead to the New York primary April 19th and predicts he'll do quite well. At a Long Island rally, Trump praised the courage of 911 responders and slammed rival Ted Cruz.
The bravery that was shown was incredible. We all lived through it. We all know people that died. And I've got this guy standing over there looking at me, talking about New York values with scorn in his face.
He also repeated his vow to build a wall along the Mexican border. President Obama says such Donald Trump foreign policy ideas are already doing damage to U.S. relations abroad.
The notion that we're going to track every Western Union bit of money that's being sent to Mexico. Good luck with that.
The president spoke Wednesday from the White House. Bernie Sanders was on the stump in Baltimore charging that Hillary Clinton should not be president because she voted for the Iraq War. Clinton campaigned in Pittsburgh, vowing to stand up to powerful special interest groups if elected. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News.
Do you want exposure for your business or organization? Check out Digital Network Advertising. Digital Network Advertising is where businesses display your ad inside their building. You can choose your marketing sites or jump on the DNA system and advertise with all participants. Your slide holds the virtual billboard for 14 seconds and is displayed 3 times an hour. It's a novel way to be seen, be discovered, and to be remembered. Digital Network Advertising with networks in Redlands and Yucaipa. Call 909-222-9293 for introductory pricing. That's 909-222-9293.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you know where you are? Well, you've done it now. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station. So expect the unexpected.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Stephanie Miller Show.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Yes, it is. Why? John Fugelsang live in studio, hour number 3. He is out here in Los Angeles promoting a show he's doing tonight. And and also we just tickets going fast for the second show that was just added in Asheville, North Carolina, Sexy Liberal, April 16th, the matinee. The tickets are cheaper, so everybody can go. We decided to add a matinee because the evening show sold out. So get it. May 7th in Minneapolis. Oh, good. We need some love today. We need some healing. And a lot of this. And some of this. And a lot of that. Okay. Ron writes, hi, Steph. Either Bernie or Hillary will make a transformative POTUS. Like the overwhelming majority of Bernie supporters, I will vote for Hillary if she's the nominee. I love you for your support of Hillary, although I'm for Bernie. Thank you for being so fair, so smart, so sexy, so liberal, so funny. Bear hugs from Frick. Well, thank you.
And so black.
I'm so very
So
black.
poor, so black.
We had Aisha Tyler on yesterday. That was